Last week on Round Sailing, we explored Gotland, Sweden's largest island. We got some engine maintenance done while waiting out the stormy weather.
It's early morning and today we're finally leaving Gotland. No, but the wind has finally dropped, so today looks like a very good window to sail to the mainland. Around 12 to 15 knots from the south, so looks to be a pretty good sail.
Sailing really fast across the Baltic Sea back to Swedish mainland. We're doing over 7 knots of average speed. The wind is, we're sailing on a close reach. The wind is coming in 60 degrees from our port bow. And I think we will arrive around 5 or 6 this afternoon.
We have divers in the water. We are about 3 nautical miles straight ahead of you.
Okay, I alter my course.
Thank you.
Okay, I alter my course.
We have around 26 nautical miles left to the anchorage, so we'll be there in a few hours. Making good speed now, 7.8, and the sailing is quite nice. There are some white caps on the waves now, so the wind is picking up a bit. And this little girl, she has been sleeping for a bit, so she's happy again.
It's been a fast sail today, but not the most comfortable because of the quite big waves and the wind direction. We've been heeling a lot.
I just rolled into Genoa, so now we're sailing with only the mainsail, the last bit into the anchorage. It's quite many shoals and stones and stuff that you can hit in here, so it's a lot easier with only the main. It's like 2 nautical miles left.
We decided to anchor at the island Kroka, Hook Island, and found a nice little cove after a while. We just dropped the anchor and we found a good spot here where we had enough room to stay at anchor. It's really calm. And it's gonna be even calmer during the night and tomorrow. And it feels great to stay at anchor again. It's so peaceful here and quiet. There were quite many boats in the other little inlets here. It's like a ring of small little islands and islets with different coves and inlets where you can stay, quite sheltered. Johan is preparing dinner now, and I'm soon gonna put the little girl to bed. It's been a long day. It was a long day at sea. Fast sailing, quite big waves, so I think we will sleep very good tonight, all three of us. Jättebra att vankra det här, Vera. Jo, så. Ja. Är det bra här? Ja. Ja, men tycker jag också.
Pretty boring evening. There's another low pressure moving in now. But luckily the winds won't be that high around here. The high winds are further south, but we'll get a lot of rain tonight.
Taking R2D2 for a little ride between the little islands here. But now we went a little bit north and into this big inlet where when we came the other day there were actually sailboats all the way. So they moor with bow in and with a stern anchor.
So some of you guys have been asking why all the Swedish boats go bow in the marinas. And I guess that tradition comes from this really, our archipelagos, and how you moor in here. Because here you can't back up to the rocks, because then your rudder will be in danger. So you always go bow in towards the rock with the stern anchor. And you can also see that on some of the Swedish designs on sailboats that you want to have, especially the older ones, that you want to have an overhang so you easily could step ashore when you have moored this way. And I guess this way of mooring spills over also into the marinas or the harbors that you're used to moor in that way. Yeah, and because of this type of mooring is quite common in Sweden, a lot of boats even have a windlass in the stern with an anchor to make this type of mooring a lot easier. And on the shards, at least in the archipelagos where you have this type of mooring, you can see in some of the places where there are already rings attached to the rocks for your bow lines. And if there are no rings, you can of course use your own kit, like to attach like a, what do you call it, like a rock bolt, not a bolt, but so you can attach your lines to that.
One thing that Johan forgot to mention about Scandinavian mooring is that there are hardly any tides here, which makes this type of mooring possible. Five minutes ago we had sunshine and blue skies, but now there is this huge dark cloud rolling in from the west. So I think we will have some more rain in a little while. But we had a lot of rain the whole night and evening yesterday. But rain is perfect now because the boat, it has been very dirty because we haven't given her a good wash in many weeks, since both on Öland and Gotland there was no washing of boats or anything like that in the marinas, only taking on water, because they suffer from water shortages on both islands. So it's perfect now, we get a free clean, we don't have to do it. Hey, titta där, vem är det? Who is that? She always looks at us when we speak English, like now in front of the camera. I think she's wondering like, what are you saying? I don't understand that language. I don't understand what you're saying. Kommer det regn snart, Vera? Vad tror du? Yeah, and tomorrow we're heading west into Västervik, the city, where we will meet up with my family, who will come and stay for 1 or 2 nights.
Oj, vilka stämband. And there's lots of things happening right now with this little girl. Last week she got her first teeth. She got 2 of them at the same time. So, in the lower jaw in the middle. Can I see? Can I see? Yeah. They're sharp. Can we see?
Åh, titta! Vad fina! Så fina tänder du har! Ja, där är de.
Man kan bitas.
Up, and we have left our little cove, and now we're heading we're gonna round the island and then go through a narrow little channel, and then we come up in the big sound that leads into Västervik. This is Spåre Sound, a narrow but deep sound, and this is a good shortcut when you're heading north or south in the archipelago. Because it's so narrow in the sound, there's a speed limit of 4 knots. But unfortunately, everyone doesn't respect this, like the motorboat that is heading straight towards us in over 20 knots. That was really cool to go through that narrow waterway. It's just the islands are so close together and they have these steep rocks going straight down in the water. And it was pretty deep, it was like 8 to 10 meters. That is so scary. It's 12 meters and that rock is just sticking up above the surface. Yes, looks like a submarine or a sperm whale. Another naiad, the second naiad in just like 1 nautical mile. That's fun. The naiad family. Hey!
Shortly after we had arrived, we saw a big fire out on the water. A 6-meter-long motorboat had just left the fuel dock when the engine compartment caught fire. The 2 people on board quickly got rescued by jet skis, so they didn't have to jump overboard.
This is what happened to you, Johan, with your second sailboat.
Looks like the propane tank has started to burn now. And it's drifting really fast, so I don't think it is at anchor.
Good that it happened here, where there are a lot of people and someone could go out and rescue them fast.
Yeah. When that happened to me, it was about 3 or 4 nautical miles out at sea. Late summer, September, pretty cold in the water. And it went so fast. Because when you have a fire in the engine compartment and you open that up, and if it's oxygen starved, it becomes like an backfire, like almost like an explosion. And it goes so fast if it starts burning in the glass fiber, and it develops cyanide and I don't know in English, salt acid, like corrosive for your lungs. So it's really toxic things when it starts to burn like that. So you can't really stay in the smoke.
And you didn't have time to call Mayday because...
No, the fire went so quickly, so even before I took the radio to call in a Mayday, and they only heard the first May and then the cable burnt off for the radio. So I couldn't put the fire out because of this backdraft. It was almost like an explosion. So, and it filled the whole boat with this really like yellow, really thick smoke. And the smoke was so thick, so I couldn't find the fire extinguisher. So I just had to go outside, and then obviously we didn't have any engine anymore. So we decided to sail on a beam reach for shore as quickly as possible. And the guys that were sailing with me, friends of mine, they were on the foredeck, and I was sitting back here steering the boat with my feet, because the whole cockpit floor was burning, and it started to burn in the sails. And luckily when we got closer to shore, the plan was to run aground and then swim ashore. But luckily there was a motorboat that had seen the fire, who came out. We threw in an anchor to stop the boat from drifting, and then we jumped into his boat. But by that time, like I said, the sails were burning and everything, the whole boat was overlit, so the whole rig came down, the mast just fell overboard by the time we came into the motorboat. Yeah, there were 2 boats from the fire department trying to put the fire out, but they couldn't manage, so it burned to the waterline and then it sank. Anyway, we had to spend some time at hospital after that because we had cyanide in our bloodstream, and it takes a couple of hours to get that out when you breathe oxygen. But nothing serious happened, but it could easily be. A fire at sea it's really, really bad, and it goes so fast.
For the first time, all beds were occupied on board. And it was great to see how round 2 has so much space.
Do you like being on the new boat?
Yes, it's very comfy.
Do you like the old one or the new one better?
I think the new one, because it's bigger.
I think this boat takes the prize for this summer's most beautiful boat so far. It's what we in Sweden call skärgårdskryssare, archipelago sailor, or something like that. 72 feet. Really beautiful boat.
After a stroll in the town, the boys took the dinghy to go and buy pizzas. While they were away, the girls did some yoga together with Karin's sister on live video.
Är det pizzaleveransen?
We really love that our families can come visit us so easily now when we are in Sweden. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you want to stay in the loop and get travel news before everyone else, join the Run Sailing Patreon crew.